Alright, y'all, I'm back and I got another one for you today. Today we're going to get into part 2 of your Drew Hill group dynamics video. Last video we got to get a little introduction, got to find out who the group is, when they was popping, what they was doing, a couple of those hits. Y'all know how we do. So now we going to get a little deeper into it. Y'all know how we do. We start shallow and then we go deep, baby. Y'all know how we do. So that's what we going to get into today. So y'all know what time it is. Come on with it.
Oh, I tell you, I'm like the 2020 Petey Pablo on this motherfucker. Nah, fuck that, nigga. I'm like P in this bitch, look. Bad little bitch, call me daddy, though. Met the little baby up in Cameo. Classy little bitch and not a ratchet hoe. She be dancing in the mirror, ass clapping.
Hey, y'all, you feel me? So let's get into it, you feel me? So we all know, like I said before, Drew Hill had 4 members. You know what I mean? Drew Hill was a group from Baltimore, Maryland. They came out mid-90s, you feel me? They took over, you feel me? Before they had their run mid-90s, you feel me? Early 2000s, but that was more Cisco, you feel me? But late 90s, Drew Hill, you feel me? Anyway, but like I said, it was 4 members, you feel me? So I guess I will start, because, y'all always pick my order and I just start from where it started from, you feel me? That's how I usually do. I just start from where it started from. So being that Woody was the one who started the group, we'll start from Woody, you feel me? So boom, we starting with Woody. So Woody was born, like I said, September 10th, 1976. That makes him the oldest. That also makes him a Virgo. What do we know about Virgo? Virgos are mutable. Period. What do we know about mutable signs? They move. What do I say about mutable signs? Mutable signs move and shake. That's what they do. You feel me? That's what they do. If you can't get with it, hey, it is what it is. That's your frustration out there. You see what I'm saying? It is what it is. So boom. So a large part of Woody being able to start this group was him already being known within the community for his musical talents, for being involved with music, for being in church, singing in church, being in different music groups and things like that. That all has to do with that mutability. That all has to do with him moving in and out of different communities. But that earthness is going to allow him to remain grounded in his interest, which is the music. And with him being known for that, that allowed the other members to gravitate towards him more, because he's already known for that. So them having an interest in being younger, they were more drawn to him, especially Cisco and Nokia. You see what I'm saying? So it allowed them, like I said, he just was known for that. So it allowed them to gravitate more towards him, for him to have more influence over them, and for them to actually be able to come together and create this group, all based around, like I said, Woody having that initial knowingness and that initial earthness, that initial, like I said, mutability, where he's moving in and out and making a name for himself and communicating with others and affecting different communities. And like I said, that's how you get known. Think about how you get known. It's through word of mouth. It's through meeting different people. It's through moving in and out of different spaces and being able to relate and being able to communicate.
And I was so shy that I ain't really want people looking at me. I want to listen to me, but I ain't want to look at me. So I just got some other guys who seemed like they was pretty cool. And I was like, yo, sing this with me, yo, sing this or whatever. So I would sing with them at the school. So it was no set group. Today it might be me and this group of guys. Tomorrow it might be me and these guys over here. But it was certain people who was constant.
So we see in the beginning that mutable energy really helped him, but it also hurt him, because even in the beginning, before they even got signed or anything, Woody was always in and out of the group based upon his religious beliefs. So even when they were in high school, his mom would took him out of the group when they were doing talent shows and stuff. She would take him out of the group because she didn't like what they were doing, or so he was always in and out of the group. This was not necessarily something. Now it's a bigger deal when they got on a bigger level, but this was always an issue with him. This was not something that just popped up, even though it appeared that way to us. You know, he was always that way. So even when he was younger, he would get taken out of the group, or whenever his parents didn't like something that was going on with the group or whatever they were portraying that wasn't, you feel me, I guess, aligning with their beliefs or what have you, then they would remove him. So like I said, he was always, even though he started it, he was always in and out. So he didn't really have that effect. Like, a person is like, this is my group and he didn't really have that hold just based on him being in and out. So these other people are developing bonds and connections and things like that. You see what I'm saying? They're still going on and carrying on and performing without him. You see what I'm saying? Regardless of if he's there or not. So that, in that sense, you see what I'm saying? That's where his mutability hurt him. You see what I'm saying?
Told me I couldn't sing with the group no more, even though, I start everybody. But she found out that we wasn't singing church music. So the same way, like you said, she heard what you saying, but she wasn't hearing what you were saying. She heard me, she listened to me and said, and all that. But guess what? I tell you what you gonna be doing. Like, guess who ain't gonna be doing it? I'm like, my everybody is this and I'm this. Well, guess what's not getting ready to happen?
Along with that mutable energy that helped him when he was moving in and out of different crowds, Woody also has Mercury to thank for allowing him to make those connections, because Mercury loves to communicate, Mercury loves to move, and Mercury loves to communicate. So that also assisted him, along with that mutable energy where he likes to move and shake. He's going to be talking, he's going to be being relatable, he's going to be, like I said, learning new interests, picking up new information, just learning in general. He's going to always be doing that. He has that mercurial energy about him. So that also helped him in the beginning, where he was making these different connections with these different people and being able to relate to all these different people and bring them together to, meet one common goal, to start that group, to get this music going. And mind you, it is still his interest, but he's able to relate to these different people who come from different backgrounds. They may not have been in the church. Maybe they were in band. Maybe that, you see what I'm saying? Maybe they were taught by their grandparents, or they had a whole different entry into music. They had a whole different passion. They had a whole different route of getting there. But he's able to relate to all these different people and bring them all together on one accord. And not only do that, but also be able to find a way for them to relate as well. So finding that common chord amongst them and being able to relate with all of them. Because just because you have that mutable energy and you're able to move in and out of different circles doesn't mean that you're going to be able to be successful within them. Doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get your point across. Doesn't mean that you're going to be able to communicate your vision with all of these other people. And that's where that Mercury energy, along with that mutable and that earth, they all come together to assist. They all came together, I should say, to assist him in building that group and being able to find the different members and being able to, like I said, just meet everybody on their own level and move in and out of those different states and different circles and different mindsets, and still being able to keep his initial goal in mind and what he's trying to do, still keep that, but be able to, like I said, reach out and touch other people. Everybody doesn't have that. And that's where that Mercury kind of helps you break that down, and helps you to not only break it down, but to communicate it, to bring it back together, to put the pieces back together, not just break them apart. You know what I'm saying? That's what, and rearrange and do different stuff. And that's what helped Woody in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So along with that mutable move and shake, he also had that Mercury that allowed him to talk, to communicate, to relate. Okay, yes, we're all in this room, but now what? You see what I'm saying? Just because we're all in this room and we like music doesn't mean it's going to be something. Somebody has to be able to relate to you. And somebody has to have a vision. You see what I'm saying? At some point, somebody's going to have to reach out. This is a group dynamic. This isn't a solo thing. You see what I'm saying? So someone's going to have to relate to all these different people and bring them all together and bring the different styles together and be able to see how these pieces can even fit together to begin with. Because some people won't even have that thought of having different pieces to even begin with. You see what I'm saying? And his earthliness gave him just enough of that stability, just enough solidness. Y'all know what I say. It gave him just enough groundedness, because he's still mutable, so he's still going to move. But it gave him just enough to stick with that common goal. You see what I'm saying? It gave him just enough to stay with it. Even though he going to move and shake, he had just enough groundedness to keep that intact. Like, okay, music is thing. He got just enough to keep music on that forefront. You see what I'm saying? Just enough. He's still gonna move around. He may do it over here, do it over there, do a different style, You gonna expect change. When you got Mercury immutable, you gonna get some change. Straight up. It is what it is. Now, most people think that Gemini Mercury, when they think of Mercury, they think that air, they think that blowing everywhere type of, you know what I mean? They think of that Mercury. Virgo ain't that. They jumping on to different things, different ways of stability. They still need something solid, but it's different means of stability. They might jump here, they might jump there, they might jump over here. You feel me? It is what it is. They still on something solid, but they moving with it. You feel me? They moving with it. So that was part 2 of your Drew Hill Group Dynamics video. We got to get into old Woody. It started with Woody, you feel me? We can say it ended with Woody, but we won't say those things, but we got to get into, a little bit of that mutability. We got to see how it worked for him, how it worked against him at times. That Mercury helped him out, allowed him to communicate, move in and out in different circles, bring different types of individuals together for one common goal. And that Virgo with that earthliness, as I like to call it, he was able to be just enough, have just enough foundation, just enough, stick to itness, shall we say, to, stick with it, to stick with the music thing, even though he had to move around a lot, even though he had to, move and shake, as I say, he still was able to figure it out. Y'all know how it go. Cause however it go, either way it go, up, down, round and round, y'all gonna figure it out. One thing you better know about Virgo, it is what it is. Whether Gemini or Virgo, hey, they gonna figure something out. Now, whether or not that conclusion is in your favor, hey. That's neither here nor there. But like I said, they gonna figure something out. And that's for sure. So, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you kick back with part 3. You feel me? Go ahead and check out part 1 if you ain't. Get caught up with us. You feel me? We're taking this group dynamics journey together. You feel me? I'm over there on Instagram, so make sure you come back over there. Go and give me a follow. Kick back with me. You be over there. I'll be over there. Y'all know how we do it. So, y'all know what time it is. Come on with it.